Welcome to Bikers and Backroads, a podcast about all things Harley Davidson. We're your hosts, Jason and the Big Z, so sit back and join us as we go into this week's episode of Bikers and Backroads. Thanks for downloading the most recent episode of Bikers and Backroads. I'm your host with my son, the Big Z. I'm Jason. Welcome. And whether you're a seasoned Harley rider or just dreaming of your first Harley, we think we have something for you to learn in our episodes. We sit here and we discuss all things Harley Davidson. That's our passion. That's what we like. If you're watching this, you've seen us already and found us on our YouTube channel. But you can listen to our audio podcasts on anywhere you get audio podcasts on their platforms. We're on Apple iTunes. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. All those areas where you get us. We're also on Twitter at @BNB_pod. You can also find us on our socials at Bikers and Backroad on Instagram and also on TikTok. So be sure you're checking us out everywhere that we are. So we're going to get into this week's episode. What's up, buddy?
Not much. Happy to finally have a weekend. How about you?
Oh, yeah. We're recording this on a Thursday night. I've got one more day of work, but the Big Z's already home for the week. I think he's going in the woods and try to slay the elusive white-tailed deer in West Virginia. So tonight, before we get going, we have regular things to go with. We're going to kind of shoot from the hip a little bit of just some open talk, some topics I've been looking at that we didn't even discuss. We're just going to throw it out and get some raw answers to. But we had an awesome opportunity last week. We were invited to go on live for the live stream for Rollin' Throttle on the Dirty Denim podcast. And so if you guys know Rollin' Throttle, man, they're a performance parts company. They have a huge following. I mean, Drew and Jake have it rolling there. They're awesome dudes. We were on live with them for a little over an hour, and then we went off camera and just hung out and talked to those guys for another hour. What'd you think, man?
Man, those are great guys, and we really appreciated the opportunity. So make sure you check them out, and we hope to do more with them, in the future. And we're just very thankful for the opportunity that they gave to us. And the great guys got great information during the podcast and even after. And it was just all around fun and fun to meet those guys and talk to them. And we had a great time on the show and great conversations and debates. So, yeah.
We got on their show and we were talking about the release chapter 1, which was our exact episode, and we had actually recorded the night before on our own, so we were trying not to do the same info over and over, but it was sparked by just some general conversation, and Drew is plugged into the industry a little bit. He knows people in the know. So he was throwing out some teasers and throwing out some hypotheticals and just picking our brains, and his goal is to build this motorcycle culture in West Virginia, and we are all about it. And we're new and we're upstart, and he reached out to us. We had bumped into him in a dealership a couple years back talking about building Xander's Dyna. I'd stayed in contact with him, had watched some of the stuff Rollin' Throttle was doing, and he's back and local to us, so we are really looking forward to having some assistance mechanically when it comes to some parts we want to install on our bike that they handle and run, and what he can suggest. I mean, he's a master mechanic. That's knowledge that I will gladly sit back and learn from, but also getting involved in things they do to build bike culture here in West Virginia. They do Mob in the Mountain. The West Virginia edition's coming up in June of 2026. We're going to try to be there the best we can. We're planning. We're going to look tonight at the place to stay up there that they suggest and see what the availability and what it would be. But we're definitely planning on teaming up and working with those guys because they're about riding your ride what you ride, building motorcycle culture, not fake biker life, and everybody getting to hang out and talk bikes and getting better at riding your motorcycle. If that's sharing knowledge, if that's pushing each other on group rides or not as big a group rides or just hanging out. Their vision is for guys to just have like passion, which is motorcycles, to just have a place to hang out. And I thought that came across very much. We had talked to Drew before, but we had never met Jake, and he's a real one. So I really appreciated that. The chance to grow our channel and them to give us some exposure. Like I said, they have some more followers than we do, and they do bigger things. And since that episode, we've added some subscribers. We've had some videos do a little uptick. So we're thankful to the Rolling Throttle guys. We're looking to collaborate with you guys and stay hooked up with you any way we can. And we just appreciate it. Before we come on, we were listening to Jake, and tonight he's talking, or we were listening to Drew, and he's talking tonight on the Rolling Throttle Live about does experience, do years equal experience in riding? So go check that out, because that's the great debate. So that being said, thanks again to Rolling Throttle guys. We're here anytime you want to collab. We got some stuff in the plans we're looking to do with them, and hopefully it'll be sharing on both our channels, or we could even go live on both channels coming up through the winter months. I'm sure he's already got some different canned content than we do, but he will definitely help us keep the content rolling. So tonight also, we're going to kick off and talk about our safety tip.
Yeah, so with our safety tip coming in, something me and Dad had been talking about, which is something both of us kind of are looking into renewing on our bikes, is tires. Something that's pretty overlooked, I think, in this culture. You see some old tires being run, and that can be unsafe because a lot of people don't realize it, but tires do have a shelf life, and the rubber will start to break down over time, not just from riding. But at the same time, you don't want to be running a bald tire or one that's really squared off and got flat spots in it. So tires are also a great way to upgrade and heighten your experience on your motorcycle, allowing you to do your style of riding much safer. This is something me and you were just talking about, how both of us have kind of a different taste or thought on what tire we would like to run on our bikes. And another part of that tires with the safety is you should look into what style of riding you're going to be doing. If you're pounding pavement, just putting heavy miles on your bike, and you don't really hit the twisties and mountains and everything that much, you're probably going to want a more harder packed rubber, because they're going to last longer on the road. They're not going to wear as much. You're going to get more life out of that tire and be worth the money to you. But on the contrary, if you don't ride a lot of long distance, but you are always hitting up a back road that's curvy and 2-lane, and you're blasting the mountains and having a good time, you're probably going to be looking for something that's more of a softer compound. That lifespan and miles on that tire is not as much, but whenever you're leaning in on a harder, sharp turn, they're going to be grippier. And there's even middle of the road tires, and every brand is making, everyone, and everybody's got their argument on what's a good tire, what's not a bad tire. Something I'm looking more into, and that also Dad is into, but we might have different, we do have different thoughts on what tire we would like. But there is a middle of the road where they make tires that are hard in the rubber, because you do a little bit of both. So your center line that you're going to be riding mostly straight up and down with and pounding your miles out is a harder compact or a harder style rubber. But as you lean out, the edges of your tire gradually get softer, and you have that extra grip leaned over, taking tight turns at speed or slow, and everything in between. So yeah, tires are something that really, that's what keeps you on the pavement. So you don't want to have a slippery tire, and your tires are designed for more than just keeping you upright. Each tire is designed to be able to go over obstacles, different, if you live somewhere that's got a lot of dusty, dirty roads, look into what tires are best for that, or gravel or anything like that. Granted, as a rider, you should do your best to plan out that turn or plan to, go around those obstacles, but there's going to be times that you can't, and you got to ride through it. So one of the safest things you can do is make sure you have a tire that can withstand that. Mm-hmm. So
tires, the stickier the tire, the more grip, the less miles you're going to get out of that tire. So then you got the debate of, a touring bike is heavier, so it's going to have to run a stiffer compound of rubber. They make touring specific tires.
Yeah.
They make cruiser edition tires. They make sport touring tires. They make sport bike tires. I started on sport bike world. If you could get 3,000 to 4,000 miles out of a tire, especially a rear tire, you were living it. That gave you the grip you wanted and the confidence you wanted in the road. We both are falling victim right now, in just true honesty, that the shelf life of both our tires are beyond what they should be. My bike's a 2014. It's 11 years old. It's on factory stock tires with the Harley Davidson emblems still in the outside of the sidewall tread.
Yeah, the wear mark.
The wear mark. But it's not cracking on the sidewall. They still appear to be very conditioned. I don't have grip issues when I ride. I don't feel unstable. My tires are not flat spotted. I don't feel like I'm losing anything, but I know in my mind what safety says. And safety says tires basically have a 5-year shelf life. They have a stamp date on them of when they were made. And you shouldn't run them greater than 5 years. Now, my bike only has barely 4,000 miles on it. There is a lot of meat, to say, left on the tread of that tire. So I'm looking to go to more of a cruiser style tire, and I'm looking hard at the Michelin Commander 3. It's going to give you grip on the edges. It's going to give you the harder compound in the center as you're putting miles down. It's getting tons of rave reviews, but just like anything, when 10 people like something, 10 people don't like it. So you got to find out where you wash there, and you're going to buy what you buy. People that I have talked to and watched, and the reviews they've done on tires that I would feel is fair. They've all had nothing but good things to say, and they've done both the Michelin Commander 3 Touring and they've done the Michelin Commander 3 Cruiser. Are these people being paid by Michelin? I sure hope not. But that's what I think I'm going to go to. And I don't know that Xander has decided, per se, what he's going to go to. But I think that cruiser line would give me the ride, the grip, it'll shed water. That's one of the biggest things is they talk about the tread pattern shedding water if you ever get stuck out in the wet. And also, it'll still give me enough miles out of that tire to make sense to buy it. It's probably not going to get 10,000. I mean, the Michelin Commander 3 Tourings are getting 10 to 12, some guys stretching them to 15,000 on their bikes that you're seeing out there now. You're not going to get that on a cruiser type tire, just because, one, that's just the riding we do. It might take me 10 years to put 15,000 miles on those tires. But you got to be committed to the fact that if it's a 5-year shelf life, if you're going to eliminate variables from causing you an issue or getting you hurt or your bike going down, you don't want to be in the middle of a ride and you think your tires are still good when they decide to let go. Yeah. Do new tires have problems? Yes. Do older tires have problems? Yes. And the law of averages would say the older tire has more problems. My tires don't even lose air from time to time. I mean, they're solid and stable. And part of me in my brain says, I don't want to replace these tires. But what I know is safety and my desire to continue riding motorcycles for a long time, you just have to be alert and be aware of those things. There's 2 parts of your motorcycle that touch the ground. We hope at all times. These stunt guys, maybe 1. But it's your tires. That's what contacts the road. That's what propels you. That's what controls you. That's what accepts the input you're giving it when it comes to keeping you upright. And a lot of people, I mean, just like guys will skimp out on a helmet. I don't believe in that. And I think you're going to have good tires. I think you have to be willing to pay the piper for tires. and you've got to make sure your tires are keeping you as safe as you can be. Again, I think riding is a lot of times eliminating variables. Sure, you're going to go into a turn and somebody's going to kick up gravel in there, and that's not going to be ideal. And your experience is going to talk to you about what you do to get through that. Every time you get through those situations, more and more, you become a little more confident, not cocky in your equipment, but confident. And then you start thinking about what's on your bike that helps you believe in it, that it's going to stick. Like that's what Drew was talking about last week. He's like, when we ride, I tell people, ride your motorcycle. That sucker will stick. It'll stick. You got to push it. You got to ride it. And he's pushing people to get better at their skill set. I understand. But if he's telling me that, I want to believe that the tires I have on my motorcycle are going to stick. So
I think it's overlooked, but that should be the number one thing you should trust on your bike. I know a lot of guys they talk about brakes and they talk about motors and all this. Exhaust is the only thing they trust. If you have any trust in any single part on your motorcycle, it should be the tires.
Yeah.
Because that's what's keeping you upright.
And the rider. You should trust your skills, not ride outside of your skill set, but your bike can only perform what it's putting to the ground.
Absolutely.
And that's your contact point. So, do you have any idea about brands of tires you'd like to run?
Not really.
Not that I'm sponsored by Michelin. We are not affiliated with them. Let's just say that outright. But if you guys want to send me a set of Michelin Commander 3 cruisers for a 2014 Dyna Lowrider running stock rims, I'll try them out and give you a review.
There you go. No, I'll be the 100% honest. I haven't done as much research into it as you have. I know kind of a style and that I would probably prefer a stickier over a harder tread. Just because I like to ride more of the back roads and take turns and, push my limits, but I don't want to overdo it. So I'd like to have a tire that's probably going to be better than my riding abilities, right? And that I'll be able to really feel comfortable on doing that. So no, I don't really have a specific brand, let alone a specific tire that I want to run. Now, if you asked me back in the day when we was riding dirt bikes, yeah, I knew those tires, and that's something I still got to do a little bit more research on. I bought my bike used, and it had a newer tires on it, and now I've been riding those for 3 years, and I'm starting to see some squaring and some natural, just wear and tear on those tires, and it's time to replace them.
Yep. So, tires, that's important. Make sure you check your tires. Wintertime's a great deal to do it. Great time to do it. You can order tires online. You can go to your dealer. You can go to a tire shop. You can reach out to guys like Rolling Throttle. I'm sure they'll have a suggestion for you. Or comment with us what you want to run. What's your favorite tire? And we'll continue this conversation.
So next we wanted to talk about touch back on the Chapter 1 release from Harley Davidson of the 2026 bikes. And one thing we did not see was the Road King, and that it was left out. And I personally loved the Road King, and I hated to not see it on this new update and the first drop. So, Dad, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I've seen a lot of people. We're not the only ones that talked about the Chapter 1 release at all. A lot of people were talking about how the Road King has been left off of the American touring. But more and more people that I find that are kind of industry insiders that we follow that are invited to Harley Davidson homecomings and creator content people that are pushed a little bit on the Harley side as content creators for them. They're seeming to think that the Road King is just gone from this model year and that it's going to return after a significant redesign or maybe even as an icon bike in a couple years. So they don't. Their leading was that the Road King is not gone for long and definitely not forever. But that also makes going into this Chapter 2 release in January very intriguing because it has sparked a lot of debate about what we could be seeing. There's a lot of updates on bikes. And the anticipation, and it's already been leaked, is, the trikes are getting an update. And there are a lot of people talking about the return of some significant cult icons, should you say, bikes possibly. And I've even heard that there could be a true Dyna returning to the Harley lineup. What do you think about that?
That would be awesome. Just coming from the Dyna Bro standpoint, and I would love to see that. And we mentioned this last week when we were talking to those guys, like if they could bring back a true Dyna, and if they were able to use, new technology, new updates, and redo that bike, but fix the old problems of like stability at high speed and, the Dyna wobble, which some guys might hate if they fix that, but some guys are going to love it. But if they fix the parts of the Dyna that, kind of belittle it or put it in the shadows and made it, a true twin shock rear is never going to outperform or beat that single mono shock in the rear. Yeah. Like the Softail, the Lowrider ST and the Lowrider S now, they probably perform. Not aside from just the Milwaukee 8, that frame is going to perform better than a Dyna. Granted, it's easier to stunt and build a Dyna with that mono, with the, your twin rears are right there on the outside, and it's 2 bolts, and you can change it, you can work on it, you can fix it. When you mess with that monoshock of a Softail frame, you've got to, take more parts off, dive into the bike. You're in more of a confined space, and now they have the easy adjustments, but to change that suspension is more work. Mm-hmm. So if they were able to, build a new Dyna frame that was, a better matchup and a better like rivalry or something to say, and more competitive with that monoshock, Softail frame, that would be very cool to see.
Do you have to have a whole new frame? The 2016 Dyna frame before it went to
if it was an icon bike.
If you went with that frame and what if you put a Milwaukee 8 114 in it, like is in the Street Bob?
Yeah.
Even the Classic that's in the Heritage Classic, not a high output, not even a custom. If you just put the 114 in it and you put it on a Dyna style rear end with the exposed shocks, there were guys could put aftermarkets on them, raise that ride height up. By 2016, they had adjusted the engine mounts. The Dyna wobble wasn't as bad as it was in your 2007. My 2014 doesn't snap around like your 2007. Now, it'll grab it every now and then. When you are leaned over and you give it the gas, it'll walk. And it's
granted, my engine mounts might be a little bit more worn than yours, but it's not an early... It's not a late 90s Dyna.
Yeah, you can easily update those engine mounts. That could be... there's so many aftermarket engine mounts that Harley could just engineer their own or use a patent from one of their, partners and sturdy up that motor. But the ability to change that rear ride height with exposed shocks is just something you cannot do on a Softail. You don't have the room under the seat to push that shock out to where it will elevate that and still have all the travel. I just don't know how you make that frame do all that. Now, are you going to get a Dyna? I don't know. Will they do it right? What if you see a stock 2026 Dyna with a 114, this is me dreaming, with a 114 M8, comes with T-bars, comes with like mini floorboards or a little wider peg. If you look at what all of Dyna culture has done for the past 15, 20, solid last 10 years, and you put that on a stock bike, as much as you can do for emissions and all that stuff, but if you give a T-bar setup, if you give good suspension in the front, if you do an inverted fork, if you did
like in Dyna,
if you could do an Olin's factory like Screaming Eagle suspension on your Dyna, dude, that would be crazy. But you can't charge $20,000 for that Dyna. No. You can't. That's the problem. That's the scary part for me when we think about a Dyna coming back. Is what is the price point?
Yeah.
You got a Nightster that is $9,999. That's a $10,000 bike. You got the Sprint coming in. They're saying it under $6,000. Something in my body tells me we're going to get a return of an iconic bike. If it's a Dyna, great. Where's the price point? Because what's
in my mind,
what's a street bob? What's a street bob? 17,000, 16,000.
In my mind, you're looking at the Dyna. If in my mind you're bringing that in at a street bob price point, maybe a little bit more because it's going to be an icon series, like a step like. I don't know.
I would think you would have to be less
than a
street bob.
Because in true performance, it underperforms.
In Harley lore, the Softail replaced the Dyna. So Harley has said the Softail frame is better.
Yeah.
That's why the Dyna cost more than an FXR.
Yeah.
And an FXR went away. Well, the FXR has never truly went away. That frame still lives in a lot of the touring bikes. The frame geometry, the frame compound, that shape, that V under the seat, it's there. You can see it. It's in the heart of a lot of Harley Davidson products because that was a significant advance in a frame. But if you've got a Sportster S and a Nightster Special at 11 and 12,000, are you going to put a Dyna at like 14.9, 15 grand, and your first Softail is going to be 16? I mean, that's great, but then you're thinking, man, I'd love to be able to buy a bagger for under 25. There's not that much wiggle room. That could be exactly why the Road King went away. Yeah. Because now you're going to have Heritage Classic, Fat Boy, then Street Glide, Road Glide. If you put a Road King in there and then you squeeze in a Dyna or whatever, I mean, we're hypothetical. We're waiting. This is anticipation for what's happening in Chapter 2.
This
and when it comes out, dude, we are awesome. If we're just sitting around shooting the bull on the couch or downstairs, we're thinking, what could be coming that's way out of left field?
And this is from watching other creators' videos. Of saying everybody thinks there's going to be a cool icon bike coming. I mean, everything we've seen, everything we've watched is, there's going to be some like out of left field, icon bike coming.
We've heard from reliable sources and guys we've talked to that there's a good buzz that a Dyna's coming. And we've heard other content creators saying, is this the perfect time to bring back a Dyna to bridge that $12,000 to $14,000 range of bike? The problem is, you introduce a new Dyna at $14,000, $15,000, that the used market's going to
crash.
The used market's going to take a hit. If you're Harley corporate, is that a way to calm down some of the private sales of one of your iconic bikes that you don't have in a lot of dealerships? A lot of dealerships won't service older bikes. I mean, I'm sure we could take our bikes to our local dealership and they're going to service them. But say you're in a dealership and it's only wanting to service bikes that are, back to 2010. That's a 15-year run of bike.
Yeah. Or M8 motors.
Yeah. We're only doing M8s and say M8s and 107 and 103s. The twin cam 103 is all we're going to work on. Well, that would get mine, but it wouldn't get yours.
Yeah.
I mean, you roll in there with an Evo, somebody's not wanting to work on it.
And there are a lot of, I mean, you hear of that
You
a lot.
hear of that a ton.
People not touching Evos anymore.
Of guys going into Harley dealerships and they're not being mechanics that can work on their stuff. Which I don't know that.
I don't think that's a problem here
play,
in West Virginia because you see a lot of those older bikes still running the road and they still look beautiful here. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just part of it. A part of the West Virginia thing is there is a lot of older bikes on the road still here. But, I mean, you go down to like Florida or something where your riding season is more, it's probably, I mean, you hate to see them turn down a certain motorcycle just because it's so old. That it's a Harley bike, and a Harley dealership won't work on it.
Well, you'd
hate to see that, but financially, I understand the way because that it is more of an advantage to that dealership to only work on the newer bikes because they sell more of them, they see more of them, and that's what people are coming in. But it also is a sales push, and it's going to make that person upgrade. So that is kind of sticking it to the rider. But
there's probably a lot of reliance on aftermarket providing parts for those.
Absolutely.
As you retool and re-advance and redesign things, you can't just hold warehouses of parts for 2000 to 2020 bikes or 2015 bikes. So that being said, I don't think I mean, if you're just looking and a new Dyna comes out and you got your old school guys, they're going to bash it from the rip. Oh, it's not, you know, you got your 39 millimeter front ends, don't like your 49 millimeter front ends. And
both of us run a 49.
Yeah, I mean, if your Dyna's older than a 2010, it's not a, you know, you hear it. And it's a ribbing, and it's not like hardcore, like, oh, your band or your culture's eating you or anything. It's not that at all. It's just people have their preferences. So if they introduce a new Dyna, and it's in a price point of $15K, and every built Dyna you see is between $9,000 to $12,000.
Why would you not spend the extra $3,000?
Well, one is, do you like the old stuff better? And if it's built, who built it? Was it built right? Is it good? Would you buy?
Is this bike ragged out?
Would you buy the brand new one that's under warranty and use all Screaming Eagle aftermarket parts? Because Screaming Eagle aftermarket parts have definitely improved with a race team.
Absolutely. And you're seeing that stuff come out on the newer bikes from the Hooligan series, from the Battle of the Baggers series. You're seeing some of that tech starting to hit.
Racing drives R&D.
Absolutely.
I mean, you saw it. If you know anything about Harley's early history, back to Motordrome racing. I mean, Harley didn't race in the Motordrome, and it directly affected their sales. So then they got into flat track racing because they were scared of Motordromes. And by the time the Motordrome went away, it was an investment in the flat track. Motordrome racing lost its lure because it was hard to maintain those wooden tracks and all that crap. And they would be in demise, and riders were getting hurt and killed and maimed. And I mean, racing's dangerous, but flat track people thought was safer. Well, Harley's dominated. They dominated flat track for 50 years
and
or longer.
And then you look into the olden days of hill climb racing. I mean, Harley Davidson wasn't always just road bikes, you know.
But that racing mentality drove them in R&D to compete. Like, hey, we don't want to run the Motordrome, which is no brakes, single speed, it's wide open. Let's build a more powerful bike that has bigger engine, bigger displacement, better brakes, and prove what it can do on dirt flat track. And then we'll dominate there. And the gamble paid off for them. But
how can we have the most powerful motor that's under this size?
Yeah, but if it wasn't for racing, that didn't help design a lot of that stuff. Now,
absolutely.
People are also going to push the wheel by wanting to adapt their bikes. So back to this, if you got a factory new Dyna, what would your market be for that? I mean, where does your market push for that?
I think you're going to.
I think
I think that could be a way for a
is-
lot of people to get in that don't want the cheapest Harley. They don't necessarily, like, they're wanting a full-size bike. They don't need a bagger. They're wanting a budget-friendly. This is going to get people back on Harley Davidsons. And, it's going to take a hit on the used market, or who knows, you might see the used market skyrocket. So you're going to get one of two things from the same buyer. They're going to come in and be like, man, they liked the Dyna frame, but they were kind of nervous of it being so old. But hey, now I can get a new one under warranty at a decent price point, and I'm only a few thousand more, but there's financing available when they were going to have to go buy a used one. And anytime you buy anything used, you're taking a chance. I mean, you can polish a turd, but it's still a turd. And sometimes you find a diamond in the rough that's covered in mud, and you pull it out of a barn, and somehow it's the nicest bike after you wash it on the road. I mean, I've seen them both firsthand. I've seen both ways happen, from personal and experience from also other friends buying bikes. So, it's a total gamble buying a used bike. But having that sense of security of knowing it's a used bike, a new bike, it's under warranty, and you don't have to pay it all in full right then and there, which some people are still going to. But that one guy's going to like having that ability to finance it a little bit. That's going to be nice. And like we said, this is all hypothetical, and we're bringing up Dynas because, hey, that's what we both ride, and that's just something I would love to see come back as an icon. I've mentioned it to you for a long time. And that's something I've thought to myself many times. Why don't they bring back the Dyna if they see all this stuff that's going on? And with the new leadership coming in, could this be? I mean, that would be a heck of a way for him to, make his mark. First year, hey, let's bring back a bike that's absolutely running the scene right now in the used market, but also just in Harley culture right now.
I mean, you would have to think if this was happening, it would have had to have happened under the old CEO. Yeah. Like this design and if this is a thing that's going to happen in January or whatever, it would have not just popped up since we hired Artie Stars.
Yeah.
But he would get the final say in, hey, let's delay this a year.
Yeah.
Maybe people will think I really did this. Or he says, hey, let's launch that. Because I'm all about getting bikers back. I'm all about saving dealerships. I'm all about saving the culture. I'm all about putting bikes in people's garages on Harley Davidsons. So if that's the case, my counter argument is, why the Sprint? Why bring out a Sprint? I don't know, what your competition is. And we talked about this a couple episodes ago. It'd be a great bike if you lived in a city or in a town, like a college town. That's a great way to get some college kids on a motorcycle, maybe get them down to the Harley dealership for some bike nights and things like that. But are you going to get side-eyed we don't want to think we are. We want to think, hey, we're an accepting culture of whatever you ride is fine. But, if you could have... Lord, if you could buy a 10-year-old 1200 Sportster, for under $5,000, an old Evo that thing's as reliable as your watch. Yeah. You're going to be on a bike that's a bike
with tons of aftermarket support. I'm just saying, we saw Harley years ago try to come out with an entry-level motorcycle, and they offered it in 2 different sizes, and both of them failed terribly. And every review on it was bad, and they only ran for a very short time. And you can't give them away anymore.
No, they're training bikes for the riding school.
And not even that anymore. Now, they've phased those out. Mm-hmm. I did the Harley MSF course to get my license, and my class was one of the first ones that they had put the new training bikes on, and I thought full ahead I was going in on the street models, and the guy that ran the course told me, he said, no, we had terrible success with those. 1, out here on the course, but 2, all of the reviews were bad, and we're bringing in the new bikes now that I think they called the Desert X, but it's not offered here, and I can't remember if it's India only or something. But
we're not India.
No.
We're not Europe.
No.
We're not that transportation starved here in the United States.
We don't have the engine size, we don't have those restrictions.
But I think I'm really torn about the Sprint. And I don't have a dog in the fight. Harley Davidson didn't call me and ask me my opinion. But I'm like, you know what? You could get an older model Dyna. You could get an older model Softail. You can get definitely an older model Sporty for under $6,000.
Absolutely.
And ride that bike 4 or 5 years, 3 years, 2 years,
10 years,
upgrade, and then upgrade. So if you're bringing the Sprint to have somebody ride that bike and ride it for 2 or 3 years, realize they need a bigger bike, and then they move up, you can do that with a used bike. I don't know why you spend that R&D to reintroduce that unless their market analysis is telling us something different. And granted, we're in West Virginia. We are different than a lot of places in this country.
This might be a bike we don't see in our dealerships very much, but down south or up north, it's a bike that kills.
It may be 100%.
It might be a West Coast thing.
It might be a hit in areas where you have larger cities and
high
things
traffic.
like that. You get that bike and it has a 3-gallon gas tank and it gets 60 miles a gallon and you have to fill it up once a week because you only drive 5 or 10 miles across town to work.
Yeah.
On streets where you're not going more than 35, 40 mile an hour. It's basically a live wire without having to plug it in. Except those things rip.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do with this, but I think there's other options. So it really intrigues me. In my heart of hearts, I think we're going to get a return bike, whether it be a Dyna, whether it be something else.
I think an Icon bike, an Icon bike this year, it's going to be something cool.
I don't know that you can put out mass numbers of it. I mean, could you make 1,500 of them and sell them?
Can you give it to us without a ridiculous price?
Yeah,
is it something that can
gotta be sub 16,000?
Or is it gonna be? I don't know. Is it gonna be something crazy like I have no idea. You have the Lowrider ST that takes up the old FXR. Oh, what's that model? I can't think of it. But what? I mean, it's just. Who knows? I think the Icon bike or a return bike this year is going to really take it by storm. I think it's going to be cool. What if we see a return? So
you got a Street Bob, the 2026 Street Bob, or maybe this is 2025, $14,999.
Yeah.
I would think a Dyna has to come in under that. If you're going to bring back a Dyna.
Or you have to bring it in. It cannot be more expensive. Yeah, unless it's an Icon 1 year run.
Yeah, Lowrider S, $20,000.
Yeah.
Heritage Classic, $20,000.
If it comes in as a Icon bike, like 1 year run, 17 I think is fair. A little bit more than the Street Bob.
It would have to be
ridiculous. It's got to be less than the Lowrider.
It would have to be more performance geared than the Lowrider S. I mean, Street Bob's a Street Bob. But you realize you harvested Street Bob from Dyna. You harvested Lowrider from Dyna.
Dyna came. I mean, my Dyna is a Street Bob.
2 bikes named from Dynas that have, transcended the gap. They went over to being a Softail. So you bring back, if you're going to bring back, what are you going to bring back? FXDX? That'd be awesome. What are you going to throw a carburetor on that thing?
Probably.
What in the world?
Dude, watch them bring back like an old T-Sport.
I don't know, because those have like a Mini Cruiser-esque vibes, and I don't know that's, you didn't sell a Sport Glide and you didn't sell Switchback, so, you know what I mean? They had little bags on them.
Bring back a Super Glide then.
You
with
could
a
bring
different
back
style fairing than what's on the...
Could you do an Icon Super Glide?
Yeah.
Or an Icon Wide Glide? A Super Glide, not with the boat tail. If you did, okay. but some rare paint jobs like the red, white, and blue and things. But a true Dyna with a motor that's a newer motor.
Super Glide with like a cafe style fairing on it, or something.
You could do something like that. I'm sure the Lowrider S little mini fairing would
look good, but
you
would have to. I think personally, to do it right, I think it would have to be something from the Dyna era, and do a little bit of a redesign.
I don't want the rake I don't want it to be raked out. I want it to be compact. I want it. I mean, I would love to see a 2003 FXDX like that Dyna, or give me a Super Glide.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. Like if you're going to go way out there in the weeds, give me that. But as far as performing goes, buildable Dyna FXDX is it. I mean, that's everybody wanted FXDX. Your bike's awesome. There's a lot of guys that build a Street Bob. Not as many people Dyna bro out the lowrider like mine, but when it's done right, it's done well. It looks great.
I think they're more sought after, but they're more left alone. Granted, the lowrider. I mean,
but the FXDX, there's a lot of guys that's their bucket list.
Or I'll give it this: revive. We've seen the success from the Lowrider S as the Softail. Revive the Screaming Eagle from 2016 was the last year of the Dyna. If they brought back an Icon series of a true Dyna and call it the Lowrider S, or I don't know, the Lowrider D for Dyna, because it's going to be an Icon bike or something, and revive that last year of the Lowrider S on the Dyna frame when it had the Screaming Eagle 110 and put like a 117 HO in it, that would be an awesome bike. That would be buildable. That would bring back that true Dyna frame. And that would also give you that sense of, I don't think that is going to be a $25,000 bike for at all. I still think you're going to come in at that, $17,000, $18,000 price mark.
You would have to for this to make sense, because as you sit here today, and we love Dynas.
Yeah.
And you had 17, if you had money to go buy a new bike, would you buy the $17,000 Dyna, or are you going to go buy a bagger?
Right now, I'm probably going to go walk right over to the Road Glide.
Yeah, I'm going to buy a bagger, and I'm going to keep my Dyna.
Yeah.
And I love Dynas.
Yeah.
I mean, but what I have downstairs, I can turn it into exactly what I want, and I don't have to go start by buying a new one. I'm going to buy a bagger. But that being said, I don't want to tell them not to build the thing, because I want to go see it if it comes out. I mean, and you might get me in a year or two with a couple of them popping up on a used market. I might go lock one down. I may sell mine, and I love mine, but I might move it on to somebody who wants to club Dyna it out, but don't and keep the new one kind of stockish. If that's where I'm going in my riding career.
Because, between us, I'm the one who likes the club style out. You like the more, not stock, but you like the more heritage builder. Yeah,
I'm a stockish guy.
I would say the Dyna heritage build. I'm going to name it that. I don't know what you could truly call it. But you like it to keep its classic look that it came off the show, but fit to you. Yeah. And your own. Yeah, I'm club out.
I want T-bars.
I want the high T-bars. I want the tall suspension. I want the 2-in-1 loud screaming motor. Hot cams, everything.
I want T-bar setup. I want different foot pegs. I want a better exhaust. I would love for the height of my rear shock to be a little taller. I don't love all the exposed rear wheel that you do.
Fender gap, yeah.
I don't love that super tall fender gap. But I love the look of wave rotors. I love nice grips. I love that type of thing. That's going to enhance my ride. But when I talk about ride, I'm talking about my ride, like day to day, get on it, go wherever ride. I'm not saying, man, I want to build this to ride an hour at a time as a sport bike. The more modifications I do to my motorcycle is going to allow me to be in that seat longer, more comfortably, but perform better, gas tank to gas, gas stop to gas stop.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I think that's a great point for you. I would say I kind of like, you want to enhance your ride, which I think every rider does, but that's what you focus on more. Where my bike is built a little bit more, and the plans that I have and parts that I want to do to my bike more so enhances the bike than the ride, which is something I personally will sacrifice. I dig it. I mean, that's what I like.
You're 21, and I'm 49. We have total different.
My back doesn't hurt yet.
That's exactly what makes this channel great. We both have Dynas right now.
Yeah.
We both plan on our next bikes being road glides. I mean, I'm sure our road glides will look different in the end of what mine does to yours. And I mean, are you going to be performance bagger boy? But if you look at the motor company, going back to releasing a Dyna, if the motor company has, through racing and through the culture of performance baggers, the motor company is giving you a hot stock bagger. I mean, that new M8, we were talking to Drew, and he, with tuning and things, they can get that thing to scream. You're talking almost 200-ish horsepower.
Yeah, with
cams
parts,
and changing some things. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't ever think you would see a stock, I mean, a bagger with you're talking 800-pound motorcycle running 200 horsepower?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
So,
with that, because we race them now.
Yeah.
You got baggers running sport bike times.
Yeah.
So,
with that, like with the Chapter 2 drop, could we potentially see in the future, is Harley going to go back to its racing roots that it's performing in right now? Could it be that Harley is changing back to its racing roots from when the motor company started back in 1903, which is how we got the Harley Davidsons we know today? In the past couple decades, Harleys ain't been in the racing as much, flat track. But now we're on this road bike racing.
Now
we're doing some big time racing and worldwide.
World of Baggers. We're on Bagger Racing League. You're getting ready to go to MotoGP with baggers. I mean, that's the biggest thing people were afraid. Indians they're going to stand alone. What if their first thing they do is cut their race team because of budget? Well, it would suck if Harleys were just racing Harleys. I mean, it's great for pride and it's great for bragging rights around the water cooler, but I mean, you want to be beating something else. We all compete against ourselves a lot of times, but every time I ride, if I ride the same road over and over, I'm not getting more experience.
You're getting better at that road.
Easy miles don't build experience. But if I say, I want to run this road 3-4 miles an hour faster than I ran it last time. Okay, I'm not saying go break the law or do anything risky, but if you get more comfortable on a road, you can gain experience there. But if you just ride that easy mile, you're building, we have a buddy that says, Drew says you're building muscle memory. You're not getting experience. Experience comes, I believe, when you do something wrong and you learn from it. So you learned that not being involved in racing at one point hurt you.
Yeah.
And now that you're involved in racing, road glides and Pan Americas couldn't be any more popular right now. Forever it was street glide, and now it's road glide.
Lowrider. Yeah. Lowrider ST
Yeah,
I mean, you're seeing a performance change in Harley.
Could you see somebody racing? There's probably a league that will race lowrider STs at some point.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that, and I was wondering if you would touch on it. But do you think maybe not 2026, maybe in the future, do you think we could see, like we have Battle of the Baggers now, Indian has the sport chief.
Yeah, you could see that.
Is modeling and is competing with the Lowrider S. Do we see a race league or a race group that comes together with that? Like, not Battle of the Baggers, but you got like the Cruiser Shootout or something like that, you know?
Around here, we have an 8th Mile drag strip close to the house. Drag racing built street bikes, specifically Harleys, like
the V-Rod.
That
was what the V-Rod was made for.
Rolling Throttle pulled up out there and just put out a thing. Hey, we're at the track tonight. Come out. Dude, that's like one weekend. 4 or 5 weekends go by. There's guys just ripping
Harleys, yeah.
Road glides, like just built people run what you brung, show what you're building. And that has potential to take off.
Yeah.
Well, guess what pushes the needle? Okay, we're going to build this motor. Are you going to build it to blow up 8th Mile at a time? Or are you going to build it to ride there, race it, ride it home? Are you going to trailer it there? That's your call. But building power is not always building reliability. When you can build power that's reliable, now you've got something. And you talk to guys that build them, they're like, man, I would build my motor and I'd break this 3 times. Or, I built my motor and the tranny couldn't hold it. I built my motor and it ate clutches. I built my motor and it would collapse compensators. Anything. Building reliability to be able to deliver it over and over and over and over again and daily. Reliable. Name of the game. When you purchase something that costs as much as a motorcycle does, you don't want to spend all week working on it to ride it on a Saturday to break it. That's not how I want to spend my time and money. But at the same time, that all pushes development. That all pushes the ability to R&D parts. Does drag racing, not top fuel bikes you can't take on the street, pull off the road, run your bike and get a time, and then that puts you in class racing, and you run it at the track that night, and then you get your lady back on it and ride it home. I think that has the ability to blow up, especially around here.
Absolutely.
Because you get the right people putting it out, maintaining it, getting the right culture there, and just having fun. I think that's awesome. But that being said, we're going to have to quit beating up this Chapter 1. If you want to see as much Chapter 1 release of Harley's leftover bikes or holdover bikes coming out in 2026 with their fancy new colors, there is plenty of information all over YouTube, all over podcasts. It's been talked to death.
Check our last video episode. Our shorts.
We are throwing out some shorts. We want to thank you guys for watching our shorts. We are doing some of our best growth through our shorts, so thank you. But there's tons of that out there. This is just a little speculation. You see the Chapter 2 reveal is getting all up in the socials this week, and it's just bikes veiled up and what's under that tarp and things like that. Yeah. So it's fun. So we've sit here and we've talked about our wish list a little bit, and I'm sure there's other channels talking about them too.
We mentioned the leak of like a 3-wheeler, which was found. They found it in the
video.
Road.
There is video of the new Batwing fairing on a trike that was taken by some people in a car that were just pulled over and saw the camera rolling by in front of, doing some shots of the new trike, and they got stopped at a stoplight, and everybody and their brothers was filming and taking pictures. So that's out there if you want to find it. That's not just a rumor. That's out there. Yeah, so
they got caught.
We're sitting here today, and it's November the 13th as we're recording. This is going to be November 14th when you guys see it. So some people are already worried about what they're going to buy people for Christmas. So if you have a biker and they like Harley Davidsons, give me 2 easy presents that are not very expensive to get a biker for Christmas. What can't you go wrong getting your biker buddy?
2 things I think you could get, and one is going to be the easiest and probably your most inexpensive, is a pair of riding gloves. There's countless brands, countless designs, colors, leather, linen, or dry fit, or leather palm, or a dirt bike style moto glove. Or do you want a gauntlet glove, insulated? Who knows?
You're talking from
$13
$13 to $15 to $90 if you go gauntlet. We ride what kind of brand gloves?
We run Thrashing gloves.
We run their Stealth brand. We run their Stealth material palm, vented for a lot of our summer riding. And then both of us have leather palm. Again, they're the kind of fit, breathable on the top of our hand, but
I'd say like the dry fit.
I don't find them to be cold. I mean, of course, and we'll ride here when it's 40s. That's about our limit. But I also have leather gloves I ride in, and they're not even fancy motorcycle gloves. They're just like a Thinsulate brand. They're not very durable. I wouldn't ride a lot in my leather gloves, but I would like to have a pair of leather gloves.
Gauntlet style.
Even if they're just like a little higher cuff. So gloves. Again, we run Thrashing around Black Friday. Thrashing does heck of deals, and you'll get free shipping and stuff. And we bought Stealth gloves last year. They're usually regular $30. I think I paid $18, and I got you a pair and me a pair. And this year we got to pick up a couple more pairs. Yep. What's your second one?
For my second one, I'm gonna say another inexpensive gift, which could also go more expensive as if you wanted it to be. Is put them together like a little wash kit. Soap, quick detailer, hog wash. Maybe a bucket and some, good quality sponges or a foam cannon or something like that nature. But like a wash kit, put them together something, or they have a certain brand that they like to use, and it might be a little bit expensive, but I mean, most of that stuff is $30 or $40 a bottle. That's an easy gift, and you're going to find it anywhere online. You can probably walk into the shop and get what they want, or Walmart or anything carries a lot of auto detailing and things like that now. Wash kit and gloves. Those are 2 solid choices. What do you think about the wash kit?
I think a wash kit's a great thing. You can never have enough of that. We keep, we have a cabinet downstairs where we keep all of our washing chemicals, windshield washer fluid for cars,
anything with
carb
a motor,
cleaner, anything we work on.
That's and carb cleaner, back to black spray, things like that.
We keep in that it's like front to back, and we'll have soaps, we'll have tire detail, quick detailer, and when we see we're like a bottle or two, I mean, sometimes we'll even leave each other a note. Hey, if you're out, pick this up. And we have a couple things we like, and we use some expensive stuff. I've used Chemical Guys. We use Adams. We've used Harley brand, the swine detail spray, which is great. We use McGuire stuff. I mean, I'm not just dropping this stuff like we're not sponsored by any of these. These are just things I use.
We've built our own personal kits that we like best from each company.
I would say, it doesn't take near as much of that stuff to wash a bike. Usually when we wash cars around here, whatever car's in the driveway is getting washed. You never wash a car at our house. You wash 4 or 5. Bikes, you might just pull your bike out and wash it. It takes a lot less of that stuff. But I think the wash kit's great. If I can add one more to this list, I gave Xander 2. A simple Harley Davidson gift card.
Yeah.
You can use that at your local shop. You can use it online. I think those are simple gifts. I mean, you can pick those up at Kroger, at a gas station. A lot of times those turnstiles where they carry lots of different brands of gift cards, you can get that. Our local Kroger carries our gift card that we pick up a lot of times. I have one in my wallet right now that somebody just got me for my birthday. Man, that was 5 months ago.
I have 2 in my wallet for my birthday.
So I'm probably going to use mine for oil change stuff because
Me as well.
it's winter. We're going to try to steal a ride this weekend. It's supposed to be 70 degrees here. So we're trying to decide, are we going to put the boat in the water and fish, or are we going to go ride? But I figure we're going to go take a ride. And then we will probably be looking to pick up fresh oil change stuff and be ready to do the oil changes in these bikes, because we said we always put them away with fresh oil. And man, what a great vote of confidence on that statement is one of the guys that builds motors at Zippers Performance. His big thing a couple weeks ago was, if you're living in a place in the country where your riding season comes to an end, put your bike away with fresh oil in it, because as that oil, as it lubricates, it pulls chemicals and things, and it builds. And he says letting that sit against your parts is damaging. So he just recommends putting it away with fresh oil. I've always heard that, like oil changes, and don't let them sit. We did that with dirt bikes. We've done it with everything. And you know, a lot of things talk about parking your bike on some wood. If you have some plywood or something around, just put it under the tires, because the cold of the concrete can help your tires start to flat spot or dry out, and the cold will damage them some. But again,
we usually try to roll them around.
We're talking about new tires.
Yeah.
But you got to take care of those tires. And if a simple piece of wood under your tire will help it, a thin sheet of plywood or something, I'm sure you got something like that laying around. We probably do around here, I'm sure.
Cheap gift. Go get him a 2x6.
No, because then you got to make sure your kickstand hits the ground okay. But other than that, I think we shot this one from the hip tonight. We didn't have a lot of prep, but this is the conversations we would have.
Both of us had busy weeks.
Yeah, this is the conversation we would have. We started talking about tires downstairs as we were eating dinner and we did a whole show before we came up here and did a whole show.
Yeah.
But that being said, go ahead and take us out, and we'll put a bow on this one, and we'll see you guys next week.
So that's all for today's conversation, guys. Thank you for watching and tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, if you're watching us right now, you've already found us on YouTube at Bikers and Backroads, but we are on all of your audio podcast listening places. We're on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, and anywhere else you can listen to an audio podcast. We're on Twitter at B&B Pod, or X, and then also new TikTok, Bikers and Backroads, along with Instagram at Bikers and Backroads. So go check us out there. Leave your comments. We love interacting with you guys. We love answering your questions or just seeing what y'all have to say. But that's all today, guys, and we'll holler at y'all later.
Okay, if you're watching us or listening to us, on Apple iTunes, please go over and leave us a little review. That helps build the algorithm. It helps promote what we're doing. Like, share, subscribe, comment. That helps design our next show. That helps drive our content. And we just appreciate interacting with you guys. We've had some great comments about helmets lately, about helmet companies I didn't even know existed. From a helmet video we did a couple episodes ago, a guy asked us if we had ever heard of shark helmets. So I just got that comment, I think Wednesday or Tuesday. And I'm going to spend some time digging into that helmet brand. He's going to be a new rider soon, and he's just looking to gear up. And we'll talk about our gear next week. And you're going to be surprised that we're probably lacking in riding in the best gear. So that's a challenge we're going to lay out to each other, is to purchase ourselves or for Christmas at least a better option of safety in riding gear. We're close to some places that sell it reasonably cheap. Nothing's cheap when you kind of talk about protective riding gear. But like a safer riding type shirt or jacket or pants or whatever.
Armored hoodies.
We're going to talk about what we ride in. It's going to be this is what we do. I don't know that we would try to push it on you. We'll even talk about footwear. But we're going to address our riding gear next week as far as clothing and footwear goes. We've discussed helmets and we've already discussed gloves tonight. So again, thanks. Help stroke the algorithm for us by like, share, and subscribe. Leave us a comment. Leave us a review over on Apple iTunes. And you riders, be safe and be blessed. And we'll see you next week.